All right, we're back.
Yeah, what's up, y'all?
It's a little bit of a break, but that's
Yeah, sorry about that.
that's how it goes. We'll deal
Yeah,
with it.
I vanished for a little bit. Sorry about that, man.
Man, it's a few things have happened since we last got to sit down and talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, First, I've got to point out, trying out the Red Hair Brewing Company from Marietta, Georgia.
Mayweather, Georgia.
Ain't it a peach? It's tart, peachy, and sour. I could deal with a little bit more sweet in there, but other than that, it's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely sour. It's cool. Well, we talked about, man, whenever you do like peach or fruit stuff, especially peach stuff, man. I don't know how many of them are out there, but it's different. It's cool. It's a little nice little curveball. You can drink it. It's a bit sour, but you can still drink a ton of them if you're hot. It's good grass cutting beer, so it's cool. Anything that's like wheat beer is going to be like that, but
There's
it's
nothing
cool.
in there, so you'll be good.
Yeah, it's pretty
that
cool.
That helps if that's what you're looking for.
Nice, refreshing, cool you off on a hot summer day. Mm-hmm. It's all right, man. You'd like to drink these at a baseball game.
Yeah,
Throw the cans on the field and get kicked out.
man. Since talking about stuff that we've done since the last time we sat down, talking about baseball games, I get a quick story. I went to my first Braves game at Suntrust Park.
Yeah, Cobb County Braves game.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
And I got to say, my review that I've given everybody that I've talked to about Suntrust Stadium is everything I thought I would like about it. I loved everything I thought I wouldn't like, absolutely hated. The stadium itself is fine. There's a lot fewer seats than Turner Field, which sounds like that's a stupid idea. That wouldn't make sense, but when it comes to where they were at, like we don't need to be in a stadium with this many seats. So they fixed that problem. The long and short of it is, it feels like we're in this a year too early, to where the stadium itself and everything is done. It's just you can't get to it. You can't park there. So what good is it? And then the problems that come up once you do get there, like
Come on down to the game. Good luck.
me, I'm one of them bobblehead marks. And
Hey, was it Matt Kemp that y'all went and got?
It's Dansby night.
Oh,
Dansby,
okay.
Swanson, the Flow night.
Oh, okay. I thought I'd seen an ad for Kemp, but that might be coming up.
Yeah, he's next month in
Oh,
July.
okay. All right, cool. That's what I got mixed up on.
As much as I love watching the games, I'll watch the games. But if I'm going to go, you got to give me a promotional night to go.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Get behind.
I can dig that.
If I'm going to go spend my $20
$20
on a ticket,
If I'm gonna get a bobblehead instead of buying a Barbie doll for my little daughter.
I got to pay $20 to park. And the problem with doing that is, I would love to give you $20 to let me park here. But first of all, you show up and anywhere you go in Atlanta, stop by the ATM first, because you're going to have to pay to park. You're going to have cash to park. Not at SunTrust. You pull up, not only will they not let you park before a certain time, you also have to have a card. Like, this is totally flipping everything on its ear. Not what I was expecting, but all that got worked out. And when it's bobblehead night, and the whole idea is there's limited quantities, they're going to run out, and they ran out because that place was packed. So you pull up to a parking lot, the game starts at 7:30, you can't park till 6. It's like, that doesn't work for me. Especially when you see people walking in, like, okay, but I was with is like, okay, well, what are we going to do? So we're going to go find another place to park. That's what we're going to do. Here's your $20.
Here's your $20.
Out any of what you pre-bought. And I've never been to buying the pre-parking passes, whether it's at the Fox or wherever you're going. First of all, I would take Marta down there, and when we get it down to where you can actually take a bus or something over to the stadium, it'll be a lot better. But that's more what I'm talking about, where it feels like this was maybe too much too soon. Where we got the stadium ready, that's great. The only problem is you can't get to it, and the ways you get to it don't really work out. There is like a bus system in Marietta that I don't know enough about it to let that. I'll find it out later on a game that's not a bobblehead night.
Yeah, I mean, just stroll down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So, and because there's a big mall close by, and I think my original game plan was like, okay, park over there, try to lift, because it's not politically correct to say Uber anymore, and figure that out. But I just didn't want to risk being late and it's screwing up everything. So anyway, and Lord, when you would go to games at Turner Field, and where I would like to park, people complained about the long walk. It's like, you ain't seen nothing yet. You got a lot longer walk at Suntrust, at the newer, fancier stadium. So
Never understood the complaint about that walk. That walk was nice, man. You walk by a couple of
not
old,
that bad.
walk by a couple of old, cool old churches. You go underneath the bridge, and they got like the drum guys under
Yeah.
there. Man, it's a cool walk. Darn it, I never understood that. We went to a lot of games together. We
Yeah.
had fun, dadgummit.
And just it's I would say every bit of that walk and maybe a half is what you got to do now.
That is a hike. I'm with. That is a hike.
In the heat, it was rough. I didn't think I was gonna make it. I was like, I was just gonna die. What am I gonna do?
Years ago.
Told you to take lift. None of you listen to me.
You should have taken lift years ago, but none of you mother. Should take a lift years ago. I am very much with you on the bus thing. I know that the CCT pops up at the MARTA station now, and that's cool, but I have not investigated it. It's going to happen, which is great, but I'm just with you. I don't know.
Just need somebody to put on their website step-by-step directions of what to do.
Yeah.
And nobody is really good at that. Oh, it'll get you there. It's like, well, I need more than that.
That's not what I'm asking.
Tell
man.
me how much money I need. Tell me where to stop, when to be there, what times I need to be back.
Yeah.
For fear that it shuts down at a certain time.
Yeah, I load the
Need to know that stuff.
I load the bejesus out of my whenever I'm just going anywhere, the little for the breeze ticket, no problem.
Yeah.
But if a bus is involved, man, I load that son of a gun down because I just don't know, and it's like, well, okay, that way I can just ride all over Atlanta, and they'll just sit there. I mean, I think they don't expire for a year, and I'll be back within a year. But
Man, I think we had this discussion. I went to the Tom Petty concert. I didn't know. Well, we just totally redone the breeze cards.
yeah, that happened
So
to me. That
you got to
happened.
get a new one. They're trying to load it over and over. Thinking, well, what's the problem? And, these are dead.
That mess happened to when Darian and I went to the United game, and it's okay. I'm like, okay, I'll just get my new card, and I swear I go to buy the thing, and it just drops this little piece of crappy paper out.
Oh,
Like, you freaking
I
jerk!
don't want a ticket. I want a card.
I was furious, man. But then it turned out that we kind of got backwards and around and stuff like that. And well, shoot, it's in here somewhere. I'm gonna show you guys a souvenir, a genuine vinyl souvenir. So I wound up with a new one anyway.
Man,
So now I got my platinum.
The color's better, like that kind of pinkish look,
Yeah.
as opposed to the dark blue that it was.
Here we go. See that little outside logo that says,
That says
CCT on it? Well, it's hard to see, but it's that one right there. That's what we're talking about as far as as far as I know. It's the Cobb County Transit. And that's what'll take you to the new stadium, but I'm with you. I don't know
it
how.
exists, but somebody tell me what to do.
I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna sit on the bus. What do I do? Yeah. That'll be cool. I'm glad they've worked that mess out because that was the huge problem with the new stadium. No, it's not the huge problem. The huge problem with the new stadium is Cobb County taxes, but we don't live in Cobb County, so I can't really discuss that.
It's
But
not my burden to bear.
yeah, I don't know anything. Don't know enough about it except the people are upset about it, and I understand
A
people
lot
being
of people,
upset about it.
property taxes, property values have gone up, and they like that. But with that comes more taxes.
That's
So,
right.
What we gonna do? What we gonna do?
Property values going up only matters if you planning to leave there, Hondo. You can be happy about it, but if you're not looking to sell, then you got to pay the higher taxes, like the man is saying. But yeah, if I can work out a good way to get me a ride down there, because I love being in the city, but I hate driving in the city. We've talked about this for God, the decades we've been friends, man. We are mass transit people. I love it. And it'll be cool, and not left field, right? I know not to sit in left field.
Yeah. I found that out in a tough way around that area, 285 where 75 comes together. I was like, man, how did I get such a good deal on these seats? And then you get down and sit down at 7:30 on a Friday night. Oh, this is why, because beaming sun.
It's no good.
Every section of the stadium is like in shade, except where Dansby has to stand. He's got like a beam coming down on him, and he's just like,
angelic
screw
beam
this.
on Dansby Swanson.
And me and Thomas sitting there were like, oh, I remember, I'll remember this to man, got no problem with sitting in the 300 section. I'm a 300 section kind of guy.
That's right.
Just get it on the first base side, not
Yeah.
the left field third base side. So yeah, man, that stunk. But that's part of going out and checking out the new stadium is finding stuff like that out, and that's
Where's
how
the
you
sun
find
gonna
out.
get you? You're right. Absolutely, man. Just buy your ticket and find out, man.
Heck yeah, man! It's gonna be awesome. There's all kind of cool stuff there. They've got a little section called the Battery, and everything up there has these stupid names like the Foreclosure.
Yeah, the battery, the foreclosure, the nozzle.
And it's gonna be awesome once they get everything done. But it just feels kind of like the season started when it started, and we gotta go whether you're ready or not. The Wahlburger is almost done. They've got hiring signs posted. They gotta go. When they get that done, I'll go check out a burger, and I'm looking forward to that. But
Yeah.
it's everything that they wanted Turner Field to be. They wanted Braves World right there in downtown, and got promised all this stuff from the city for all these years, and finally just said, well, listen, we're leaving. And since we're leaving, we're going to do what we always wanted to do in the first place and have a spot where people can come. And you could literally spend all day there if you wanted to. But just, it needs some more work as far as parking, roads, how to get there, and stuff like that. And pedestrian bridges, which I think should be done soon too. But
Awesome.
that was my experience with going and watching the Marlins and the Braves play.
Marlins are a good team to go out and watch, man. I've for years just getting on the side about baseball. We've discussed this forever. I despise the divisions in baseball. I hate it because I'm absolutely convinced. Here is the rundown from when I was a little kid. It's pretty close. We're pretty close in age. I'm a little bit older, but this will all make sense.
Close enough.
Yeah, to where it'll make sense. These are World Series champions in the first 10 years of my lifetime. Minnesota Twins, Los Angeles Dodgers, not bad. Not bad to get the Dodgers in there. That's okay. Oakland Athletics, Cincinnati Reds, Minnesota Twins again in '91, and 2 and 3 it was the Toronto Blue Jays, and 3 it was 2 and 3 was 94 there wasn't one. 95 was Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then you get the Yankees. And they run, and that's fantastic. However,
Stretch started.
we got from 1987 to 1995, and no Chicago, no Boston, no New York. That's where the divisions came from. It's quite literally just a scheme to make sure the Red Sox or the Yankees or both are in there.
Guaranteed ticket.
And it's frustrating. If you want to keep it that way, that's okay. But this playing people in your division 96 times a year is stupid. I hate it. And I'm not an interleague guy. Never liked interleague baseball. But here's the thing about interleague baseball.
It's done too much.
It is a monumental success. So they're going to keep it. It's all good. It's not like, oh, I don't like it, you got to get rid of it. It's worked. That's okay. What I wish you'd get rid of is just, first things first, I wish there was just an American League and a National League, and you played until you had 8 teams, and then whoever the 8 teams are, regardless of where they are in the country, that's who goes. That's what people talk about with the NFL and reseeding and all that stuff. They ain't wrong. It's just the best ones, the best teams should go. But the way you should determine that is by breaking it. Keep interleague in there, no problem. But instead of doing this crappy division stuff, man, play everybody in the National League the same number of times. We go to you twice, you come to us twice. And that might not be the correct math, but it's something like that. That'd be so much cooler. That'd be so much cooler than watching the Phillies and the Marlins 80,000 times a year. And one of the reasons it's such a pressing thing right now is that Atlanta, Miami, pretty much. Philly, absolutely. The Mets weren't supposed to, but then they fell apart with injuries. We have all given up. Everybody in the East has basically just waved the white flag and said, take it, Washington. And they were going to win it anyway. It's not like that. But it's boring as crap. Our division sucks, man, because the Nationals are just killing everybody. And I, for one, would like to see the Dodgers a couple of times, maybe the Pirates and the Reds. And we play them once a year, but still, I just think it'd be a lot more fun if it would make the National League
a lot more before all that district. And
oh yeah, before interleague and before division stuff. And the thing is, again, keep the interleague stuff because people really like it, so that's okay. I got no problem with that. It's cool. I've made my peace with it. It's all good. But that's my thing. Is just go back to playing. Then you got to make the National League and the American League special again. So make all those games meaningful, man. It'd be so much cooler if it was just a race to see who can get in under the wire. It'd be a lot cooler because basketball's talked about that a bunch too, man. With the West being so much better than the East. They're talking about getting rid of conferences. period, and just have the NBA and everybody plays everybody, and then at the end of the year, here's your teams. It'd be cool. It's a cool idea, man. I would love that, I think. Now, I think football is the only one you can't do that with because it's impossible for everyone to play everyone. So cool, keep the divisions. That's no problem. Just a couple of division changes I'd like to see, but that's just my opinion. For example, why in the world? Why in the world?
How in the world?
How in the world? Why in the world do we not have the Tennessee Titans in the NFC South? I know they're an AFC team, but it'd be so much cooler to have them with us. Now, I think they're AFC South, if I remember correctly. And I understand the AFC East, you got to keep the Dolphins, oh my God, la-di-da, whatever. Okay, but what if Tampa and Jacksonville were in the same division? That'd be way cooler. You'd have you a nice rivalry, be cool. Trade Tampa Bay tomorrow for the Tennessee Titans, because Tennessee and Atlanta would be awesome, man. Carolina's right there. That'd make way more sense, only because Florida's a southern state, but it's kind of its own world at the same time. And Jacksonville and Tampa Bay being a division rivalry would be neat.
Very good and very bad way.
It'd be neat for both of them. It'd be neat for both of them, man. Give them each other. I wish they'd do that. There's a couple of other things like that I wish they would do, but divisions in football you got to keep because you can't play everybody. That's no problem. But baseball, you got 162. It'd be a lot more fun.
The thing that I don't like about what's become a problem with the interleague stuff, I've noticed, maybe it's been worse longer. I just noticed it a lot more these past 2 or 3 seasons where interleague has really brought about the home and home 2-game series.
Oh, God.
Who cares about that?
Who cares? If it's less than 3 games, 3 is the least. 4, I'm a big fan of the old 4-game homestand. But 3, man, you got to play 3 games. Come on. Why are you going to load up?
We're having to do it with Toronto.
Toronto, and then why are you going to pack up the Anaheim Angels and make them come to Atlanta for 2 days?
Yeah.
That's stupid. I totally agree. I hate that. I hate that kind of stuff.
Don't make sense.
It just don't make no sense. It smells like a bunch of stinky old Bojangles sausage biscuits. Major League Baseball scheduling. I told Jared I was going to work that in. By God, it's baseball that brought it out, man.
It sums it up.
For real.
But man, some other stuff that has been going on since the last time we talked was the passing of another Hall of Fame stick man, Adam West, passed away 2 weekends ago. It's Friday or Saturday he passed away. And, it was one of those kind of deals that when you first hear about it, you're kind of like, oh man, Adam West passed away. That's kind of surprise, but then you realize it, dude was 88. Come on, but it was cool that everybody got on YouTube and podcasts telling their Adam West stories, and I like how he had a really good end. It sounded like, and so that was one of the deals where I was too much of a Rick to get together and talk anyway. I was gonna try. Stuff like that, but the one thing that's come out that we kind of got into talking to a little bit about earlier, but haven't heard. We haven't really given our total opinion on this. The what's old buddy's name? Mayweather and McGregor fight.
Yeah.
What's going to happen with that? Everything that's been said about it is you hear everybody saying like, well, styles make fights. Styles what make fights. They can make bad ones too. And I think everybody's kind of overlooking and just already written this off as a foregone conclusion that Mayweather's going to win. There's a big age gap between these two. There's like, what's Floyd like? Going to be 40?
Something like that.
And dang near 10 years between them. I just think that's something that everybody's overlooking. And even though I'm confident that McGregor is not going to risk knocking old buddy out and getting his legs broke, but I just think if he's in the match, he's got that chance to get him stuck that one good time. And it maybe a good idea would be look at some flies.
Mothra
coming in here. Let's say we're going to have a boxing match, which he signed up for. That's his deal. If it gets to 10 rounds, then it's MMA. That was an awesome solution that I heard. Like, man, that would give them something, to make it interesting, entertaining.
Several things. The first thing is, do you want the fight or do you want the fallout? Because the story's already written one way or the other. Mm-hmm. You want the fallout? Here's the fallout.
Yeah.
If Conor McGregor loses, well, it's because it wasn't an MMA fight. Mm-hmm. And I know what I'm talking about here because I had to hear people tell me for 10 years, Manny Pacquiao beat the crap out of Floyd Mayweather. Well, guess who got rich on all those morons the night they finally fought? This guy, because I actually know a little bit about boxing, and I'm here to tell you Pacquiao's a fine fighter, but I know people hate Floyd Mayweather. I get it. It is hilarious to me that Johnny Manziel can run the exact same playbook and Conor McGregor can run the playbook word for word, and it doesn't bother people. Mm-hmm. But let the smart mouth black kids start talking, and you got a problem. Okay, that's cool. That's up for you to figure out why that bothered, why one's okay and the other's not. Redheaded Irish kid can do it. Black kid can't do it. Mm-hmm. You figure that one out for yourself. However, on this fight, McGregor loses. It's because it wasn't MMA, and there's a damn good reason it's not MMA, and I'll tell you why in a second. And it's not, well, because Floyd Mayweather's scared. Nope, because Floyd Mayweather's where the money is, and you gonna go to him. You want to challenge.
Do it my way.
Floyd Mayweather made more money in one round against against Manny Pacquiao than Conor McGregor's made in his life. Remember that. If you're gonna go to the guy. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you go challenge Michael Jordan to a field goal kicking contest. If you're going to challenge Jordan to one-on-one, it's going to be basketball, you freaking idiots. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole deal. Other thing is this. The one hope that Conor McGregor people have is this. The odds that he wins are so astronomical. Do not put it past Floyd Mayweather to bet against himself and take a dive. And that, my friend, is the fallout if McGregor does win. If you think you are ever going to get credit from a Floyd Mayweather fan, if Conor McGregor wins, you are dreaming. It's like a Conor McGregor fan actually being like, yeah, Floyd beat the crap out of him. That's never going to happen either, man. So don't get all huffy. Don't get your feelings hurt when excuses start flying one way or the other, because that's all it's going to be is Excuse Fest 96. It's... The one thing about that fight I do wish they would do, I wish that Conor McGregor would give half his money to Ronda Rousey. Because if she hadn't started this crap, he wouldn't even be in a spot to do it. She started talking that mess about something everyone knew would never happen, and Conor swoops in and gets it, and good for him. That's all dandy.
You got it, brother.
But it is a pathetic shambles. It is absolutely sad, and I can't believe anybody's willing to pay money for it, but there's a lot of people that are. And that's awesome. Good for y'all. I won't. For Pete's sake, who gives a crap, man? Because
I think that's one of the reasons why they had to rush the fight out as quick as if we give this fight the normal build-up that a match like that gets, people are going to see through it soon enough. We've got to get this thing out. And I think it's like August. It gives
August 26th. It gives people way too much time to watch that video of Conor McGregor sparring against the Olympic hopeful boxer and getting his little ginger hiney absolutely gassed. It's embarrassing. I'm not a Conor McGregor guy. I ain't trying to pick on him. It is humiliating to watch Master MMA brother, on the baddest fighter on the land, trying to buy. It is absolutely embarrassing, and that's with a kid trying to get into the Olympics. Yeah, this is someone that's been to the Olympics and someone that hadn't lost since the Olympics. I know people hate him. I know people hate Floyd Mayweather, and it just blinds them, and they can't possibly. It's like LeBron. It's trying to get a Jordan fan to admit LeBron can actually play basketball a little bit. I know nobody will ever admit it, but if you know anything about boxing besides, well, you're supposed to punch people in the face and knock them out, if you actually understand strategy and logic and, what's that word I'm trying to think? Oh, yeah, defense. You know how good this guy is. Oh, yeah. Best fighters in the world can't touch this guy, but Conor, I'm going to box for 9 months and beat up Floyd Mayweather's. Okay, sure, man. But as I've said before and we'll say again, nobody's getting credit one way or the other, so who cares? Why does it even matter? It would be like a dunk contest between Julius Erving and LeBron James. If Doc went out there and absolutely smoked LeBron, the LeBron kids would have excuses to the end of time, because can't nobody give nobody credit for nothing anymore. And it's like, what is the point of this fight? But the thing it's more of that crazy emotional manipulation, because the people that hate Floyd Mayweather hate him so much that they will hand you their money just praying to God that somebody can beat. It's happened before. It happened with God, what the hell's that kid's name? Arturo Gatti, who I love. I love Arturo Gatti. Arturo Gatti is like, go forward and punch and blah, blah, blah. And I love the guy, and it's awesome. But you knew that Mayweather was going to kill him. And Mayweather absolutely killed him. You knew it was coming. Who's my other man? Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton's like one of the most entertaining and awesome white boy English fighters ever. I love Ricky Hatton. But you knew when he got in there with Mayweather, he was out of his depth. And no, don't. If your feelings hurt easily, don't ever watch that fight. But I love Ricky, but you knew it was going to happen. It's like, come on, y'all. It's very frustrating that in these modern times, a guy can still run the Ali playbook and get that much hate. I can't believe y'all believe this stuff. He's just the best heel. Oh, notorious MMA Conor McGregor. Hey, sir, get outside of his face. All he does is the Mayweather rap.
Yeah.
It's great. Mayweather's good at it. McGregor, good for McGregor too. This is more money than he will ever see. So that's awesome. That's why I'm glad it's happening.
I get his motivation.
That's the whole reason why it's a boxing match. You can't beg Floyd Mayweather to give you half of a pay-per-view and then say, "Oh, but I'm going to set the rules too, brother." No way. There's a reason he said, "Sure, I'll box you." Dude, that's just ridiculous, man. But the whole thing, I'm with you on doing 50-50, but the thing about 50-50 is you have to want McGregor to win. Because here's the thing about them boxing. Floyd Mayweather versus anybody in a boxing fight, Floyd should win. Mm-hmm. Floyd Mayweather versus anybody in an MMA fight, including Ronda Rousey, the MMA artist, the mixed martial artist, better win. That's what always made me so crazy about, man, he don't want to fight that woman. Let me tell you something about that woman. That woman's a professional mixed martial artist. She dadgum well better win. Yeah. You got to win. She's a judoka, for Pete's sake, man. If you tell an Olympian judo player that they can, employ judo or jiu-jitsu, or well, let's do judo because her jiu-jitsu is not great, but her judo was, against a boxer, you better win. Yeah. That stuff makes me crazy. I'm like, of course it is. That's just about who, the business. It's about who's chasing who. Yeah. Simple as that, man. Oh man, that's the ESPN's thing. Is boxing using MMA to raise their profile? Are you kidding me?
Something's got to.
No, that's totally incorrect. MMA's dying. I mean, it's dead, dude. And that's proof. You have the biggest name in mixed martial arts begging the biggest boxer on earth for a fight and conceding to his rule. That tells you who's out front, man. I mean, boxing's not mainstream anymore, but the people that are into it, it's fine. You better, but hardcore boxing fans and bettors have kept that stuff going forever. People, it's so weird that, well, it's not as big as the NFL is supposed to mean that it's dying. I've never understood that. I'll never understand it. And the NBA's doing great.
That's the thing. When you have only so many matches in a career, and with boxing, you can last a lot longer.
Yeah, you can.
And when there's striking while the iron's hot is the merging them together that we're trying to do.
I totally agree. It's just this is Mayweather. This is McGregor's opportunity for a huge payday, and good for him. But I do wish he'd give Ronda half that money because she earned it. So when it started all this mess. But she wouldn't box him either. But that's what the whole Holly Holm thing was about. Was, Dana White. Oh, Dana, I'm going to be the new Vince McMahon. I'm Dana White. If you want to be the new Vince McMahon, you better start rigging your outcomes there, buddy. That's why MMA's dead. Because they want everyone to shoot these heel promos, but then don't nobody say who's going to win.
Working storylines.
That's what you have to. Look, man, if you, McGregor's like the new Ric Flair. Yeah, Ric Flair knew whether he was going to win or not before he walked through the... Don't be stupid, y'all. And people act like McGregor's never been beaten, man. I think it was Nick Diaz, one of the Diaz brothers. I know they're hated too, but the Diaz brothers are great. I think they're awesome. I think it was Nick. It might have been Nate. I think it was Nick. But don't watch that fight, man. But then the rematch was great. Firefight and McGregor won it, and that was cool. But yeah, the one where he unfortunately decides he's going to turn around, and Diaz is like, "Thanks a lot," and that was that. Yeah, that whole thing. I mean, people just present that thing like it's like Floyd Mayweather needs Conor McGregor. It is the complete. I just don't get it. It is the complete opposite. That's like the Toronto or the Montreal Alouettes hosting.
Who's left for him to box in the boxing world?
Nobody. He's already beat everybody.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why not do it?
As long as the money's there, why not? And that's the whole thing. And that's my point. Be happy, because I don't care how bad. If McGregor wins, don't ever expect credit. You just it's never going to happen, and it won't work. It won't matter either way. Whoever wins ain't never getting credit. Mayweather's never lost to anybody and never got credit for it, so he couldn't care less. But Nice round 50. This is so stupid, man. But he has pretty much beaten everybody. We don't like to talk about it because, well, he fights everybody after they're old. Not everybody.
Yeah.
Not everybody. Now, there's a couple of guys on there that he licked pretty good that are kind of out front. Canelo Alvarez, you ever heard of him? He's doing pretty good now, isn't he? Yeah. Not the night he fought Floyd Mayweather, he didn't. Mm-hmm. And it stinks. I don't mean to defend Floyd so much. It's just that guys doing the Ali, Deion Sanders rap do not bother me a bit. It doesn't bother me because it's just people, and that includes McGregor. It's just guys trying to get their profile out there and trying to get their name out there. But it frustrates the crap out of me that it's okay for Conor McGregor and Johnny Manziel, but Richard Sherman and Floyd Mayweather are dog. It just makes me mad. It's like, y'all, if you want to say race has nothing to do with it, fine, but you might need to prove it to me because I don't see any difference. Well, there's one huge difference, and it's that of all those 4 guys I just named, Manziel's the only one that never did a damn thing. Yeah. Johnny Manziel cashed his papa's checks and just talked a bunch of crap. He's a spoiled brat that wanted to be famous, and good for you on the fame thing, but never did nothing else. Mm-hmm. At least the other 3 guys backed it up.
Yep.
But Mauro Ranallo apparently is coming back to call that, so that's cool.
That's what matters.
That's cool, man. I think that's what I heard. I hope that's true. Might just be one of those internet things, because any old thing on the internet.
Here, he's supposed to be coming back to WWE. That might throw a wrench in his plans to call that, but they're getting a lot looser with the exclusive parts of the contract. So
thank you, Matt and Nick Jackson.
So why not just go ahead and just let him do it? If JR can go work for another wrestling promotion, why can't he go do an MMA match?
Yeah, that was
especially
the deal.
Since he's one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah, he really is quite good. Like watch the old Pride DVDs and hear Mauro. It's like, man, I don't know anything about this, and I'm like, it's cool, man. This is awesome, man. I'll fade on. I'm like, yeah, go. I'm like, all right, go on, Mauro. Tell me. It's cool, man.
Some Rapunky.
Yeah, for real. Oh, man.
If y'all don't listen to the Marty and Sarah podcast, you need to, and hear some of the sexy Mauro Ranallo calls.
Got to hear about it. Read up on Rapunky, and then who is it? It's Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero. I'll explain. Ricky Reyes and Rocky Romero used to be a tag team in Ring of Honor, and I always have to stop and think about which one of them is still around.
Yeah.
Too many R's, but it's Rocky Romero, and their tag team is Roppongi Vice, and it's hilarious. I just think that's one of the greatest names anyone's ever come up with, ever. Like, what the heck is that? Then I read it, and I'm like, sweet, okay.
Do we need to discuss the Money in the Bank pay-per-view? Because I know it's been done to death.
Hey, let's do it, man.
Then people have, given their opinions.
Yeah.
And everybody's been down on this. And the other thing that we all need to come together and decide is what to call these shows now. It's not really a pay-per-view. It's network special doesn't roll off the tongue.
The SmackDown I paid for.
Yeah.
But this, I gotta admit, like before we even start, I missed this one. I was incredibly crazy, stupid, sick last weekend, so I missed it. It had nothing to do with the pay-per-view, but I did not see it, so I will be throwing in uneducated commentary. It will not be the first or last time.
It's never stopped me before.
Absolutely not. No way.
There was a lot of good on the show. I dug it. The thing I think should have happened as far as the women's Money in the Bank match and who won and how they won and all this, that, and other thing is Carmella winning, Ellsworth being the cause of it. That we saw that coming from miles away. That's something that people were predicting before the show even started. But what they should have done is, I had a feeling whichever match opened up the pay-per-view, women or the men, that's the match that they need to cash in on that night, and not like
right now,
a week or a month later or whatever.
Cash in on that briefcase right now.
Right now. And I thought that's what was going to happen, and then if that happens, and it's not that all the controversy is averted, but you don't basically have to go back and do the match all over again.
That's so stupid. Oh God.
Maybe it was done by design, or it's like the next day on the network. very rarely do I ever just turn it on, just click on, oh, let's watch whatever they're showing now. They're showing the 97 Royal Rumble. The 97 Royal Rumble is the Steve Austin got thrown out. Ref doesn't see it. He gets back in, eventually wins. And even still, knowing that you can see on the video that happened, the referees calls final. You can't go back and change it. That's part of what makes this kind of like a sport. So,
there was a handball yesterday in the Atlanta United game, and by golly, he missed it, and the referee's call was final in that.
Too late.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's like, dude, he didn't call it. We can't do anything. You're exactly right.
That's why I hate the fact, more than a man winning the first women's Money in the Bank match, I hate to going back and doing the match again, because I think even though it's Daniel Bryan, you need to stick to, well, it's sad that this happened, but it has happened. Now we just have to deal with it.
Got to protect the business.
You can't go back on that.
I'm not quite sure why it's such a big deal. I mean, is it sexist that a dude won the first women's Money in the Bank match? Because the reason I'm asking is I thought the women's revolution was over. We want Alexa Bliss and her cutie little cheerleader self, and we want Lana, and we're back to basically divas now. They wrestle better than that. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't saying that Alexa Bliss is freaking Tori Wilson. She's better than that. But I thought we were off that. I thought we were marketing to freaking frat boys again. So it's like, okay, when it's convenient. Or is this the one case where you're going to let social media carry your book? Because let me tell you something. You've got way better ideas than starting that match over again that came through on the old Twitter, but y'all didn't have no interest in that. Yeah. Get out of here. That's so stupid. God, that's so lame.
And nobody's giving Carmella the credit for the good catch. I mean, that's what we need to really be focusing on. It's not only, I know the briefcase is empty, but still, what if she drops the damn thing?
It hit me in the face.
Yeah.
It hit me in the face and rolled right to Tamina. I'd have messed the whole thing up.
I know, because it's Ellsworth. People are acting like it's freaking Batista that climbed that ladder and won. Like that, you would have a gripe about. But Ellsworth is essentially another female competitor out there.
And he's a performer in the women's division. You're exactly right. The point you're making is dead on right.
And he physically couldn't put Carmella on his shoulders and climb the ladder with her to let her get it. So he has to climb. See?
Sorry, for real.
He could have. Stuff her in my trunk.
It drags like carries her up there.
And a lot of the flack comes from is who he throws Becky off the ladder.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing. We'll get to it in a minute.
To start, and so he climbs and he unhooks and drops down to her, and she catches it. People are really overlooking how good of a catch that was, and I think that's one of the royally ticked me off. We're gonna do that again, and I think she's gonna win again.
She probably will. I mean, look, if that was what the book said, that's what it was. Because the deal is, I mean, bumping Becky Lynch off the ladder is a huge deal. Because here's the difference between Becky Lynch and Carmella. There's two differences. One, Becky Lynch can work. Two, Becky Lynch is over. There's your problem right there. But it's the land of opportunity, which basically means I'm my dad's kid. Whoever I think needs to win is going to win. That's all that crap means.
Becky was the only other person in that match that I thought made sense having her win. Charlotte doesn't need it. Nobody gets excited about Tamina toting the briefcase around.
They can't give it to Charlotte yet because, again, the bloom is not off the...
she's going to be in the title picture regardless.
Eventually, yes, but they can't give it to her yet because the Alexa Bliss, the first woman to carry a both, oh my God! They're not done with that yet, so you can't give it to Charlotte yet. I totally agree. We got to keep playing up like that actually means something.
Natalia, it'd have been all right if she'd won, but it wouldn't have excited people the way it would have excited them if Becky had won.
I think
Carmella's the only one that really makes sense for her to have it and be like a toner with it.
I would be okay with it if they actually had. Naomi's a fine champion. I like Naomi. It's just that the top of the division sucks now because again, Charlotte's not in it. Becky's not in it. The top of your division is Naomi, who is very good. Her two top challengers are Lana and Carmella. That's why people don't like it. Simple as that. If you actually had a decent... And it's not the champ. It's not Naomi's fault. It's just that who's Naomi got beef with?
Yeah.
Nobody. Doesn't work. We were talking about that earlier, man. I have a huge problem actually with both the people that won, but it's not their faults that they won. The idea is to build new stars and bring them on up. But there has got to be a better way to do it than to take somebody from mid-card can't work status to, oh, you're next in line. There's got to be like, I'm hoping that like the Mae Young tournament and stuff like that. I wish they'd do more tournaments.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what the G1 is all about. The G1 has always been the guy that's not the champ, but boy, he's coming. That's what's cool about it. It's the reason that when Hashimoto and Muto were trading the belt back and forth, Chono was winning the G1 because then there you go. And this, oh yeah, and he's still coming, still a legit challenger. Yeah, who needs the belt is, you know, it's a little bit different. But my other thing about that also is if you give Carmella the belt, does anybody buy it?
No.
That's too fast. And I totally agree. If y'all want to make her the next big thing, that's okay. But you need progression. And nobody cares. The same thing about the main event. I get what I gave it to him, but put the... We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
But I think you avoid a lot of this controversy after the fact. If Carmella wins the briefcase, you have Naomi and Lana in the match. She come out and she teased cashing in it, and just have her do it anyway. And I'm not. Naomi can still lose and not lose in that way where all she has to do is cash in. I just beat Lana, so who cares? And it builds a feud with them, and you know, but to redo the match is the dumbest thing.
I totally agree. It's stupid, especially like you said. They're going to redo it the same way anyway. They're not going to change the. I totally agree. I don't think the outcome will change a bit.
No.
But it's who cares? It's not that big. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, as long as again, not seeing it, I'm not sure. As long as the other girls got to show out, because that's the thing about the main event is apparently the people that are actually worth the darn. At least they got to show out. So that part's cool. At least they got to show up and do cool stuff. But it's just whatever. I mean, it's just messed up that you've got Charlotte, you've got Becky, you've got Natalie Neidhart, which Natalie I totally agree with. I think Natalie should get the belt at some point, but do it later when it'd be more meaningful. Like Christian or Christopher Daniels with just getting it where it's like, man, you've earned this.
Retirement match kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that. Just somewhere down the line
where you can just anytime
make
soon, but it's got to be coming.
Or you can make a star out of it. It's the whole. That was the whole point. We talked about this. We'll get to that later because we'll discuss the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, which I missed because I'm an idiot and I forgot it. But at least we can talk results about it. But continue. I'm sorry.
Now that's the main thing. There was some other good stuff on the show. I mean, there was a cool tag match that I liked, and it was very good up until the finish when there really wasn't one.
It's a bummer.
And then you have the men's Money in the Bank match, which, you know, was one of the best thing on the show. But it's
AJ Styles was in it. It was the best thing on the show.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Shocker. And
Ron Burgundy. I don't believe you.
you have Jinder retained before that match, and so you know, okay, well, nobody can cash in from the men's division tonight, so it had to have been the women, but they screwed that up. Then Corbin wins the Money in the Bank on the men's side, and the problem with him winning was he basically comes out on SmackDown Tuesday night and does the exact same thing that Carmella did, does this lap around the ring, doing this taunt to Ginger. Like, dude, not only are you doing something that's been done before, you're doing something that was done better by one of the ladies a few nights ago. You freaking idiot.
Jinder Mahal versus Baron Corbin.
Ooh, that's going to put some butts in the seats.
Who got excited about that one? Get out of here. Corbin is so ridiculous. I hate that guy. And Punishment Martinez is the way better version of that character. Yes, I said it, and yes, I'm right. It's just an opinion, but that's my opinion. I believe it. But yeah, it's so stupid. And basically, I was telling Jared the thing about that a lot about moving him up because God knows the McMahon family's just in love with Baron Corbin. So fine, that's cool because, again, we talk about it with AJ and Nakamura all the time. Those guys really don't need it. The belt needs AJ more than AJ needs the belt. Because the only time the belt has been meaningful to anybody outside of Vinny's little circle was when AJ had it on SmackDown. That's the only time anybody cared. Yeah. It's the only time anybody cared. They gave it back to John, nobody cared. They give it to Randy, nobody cares. It's because AJ's the best on the freaking planet and everybody knows it. But that's the thing. His matches are going to be that anyway. So the whole Nakamura and AJ have to headline WrestleMania 34 for the title, la-di-da. Doesn't have to be for the title, doesn't have to be a headliner. Just put them on the show. It'll be the best match on the card no matter where you put it.
Yeah.
Here's one for you. Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon wasn't the main event. It's okay.
worked out.
The Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat, not the main event. Who cares? Vince's main event is about his blow-up doll superstar, Hogan, Cena, Reigns, making the kids happy. Who cares? Just watch the rest of the show and hope there's some good stuff on there. And if AJ and Nakamura get together, who gives a darn where they're at on the card? And that's CM Punk's fault. It is CM Punk's fault for griping about I should have been big paycheck. And I liked CM Punk. I was a big fan of his. I like his earlier stuff better, but I was a big fan. I like the guy. That it's his fault that everybody thinks their guy has to go on last. Now it's not enough that they're booked to work together. Like what a crock. Let's just be happy those guys are there together. Because Styles don't need the belt needs him. When Nakamura was at his zenith, peaky powers in New Japan, he'd held the IWGP. I think 3 times. But at the zenith mecca, oh my God, look at this guy. He was the Intercontinental Champion, not the IWGP. That was Tanahashi. So it's not, doesn't matter. I mean, why would you not want that crown jewel player on your card somewhere? He don't need it. He doesn't need it. It's not that big of a thing. But I think, again, it's just Corbin and Carmella, fine, whatever. But I just think that making your new star have a title match is just too fast. And also, for the love of God, don't have him and Jinder Mahal wrestle because nobody
care.
Nobody's going to care about that. Nobody. I'm sure they have a 3-way with Randy, for the love of God, because there's no way you can just write Orton out of the thing, even though you got the same finish with him and Jinder Mahal every time they get in the ring together. But whatever.
That was another problem with that match. It's like, well, we just saw this finish a month ago.
Man, that's...
barely a month ago, if it was even that. And it's just, you have the little AJ and Nakamura spot in the match where they're, and it came off cool because it was kind of out of nowhere, where they're on each side of the ladder looking at each other and they just move it and they have their little
tete-a-tete
thing going. And everything I saw on the internet was like, oh, that's got to be the match at SummerSlam. Like, that's too soon. We're building towards WrestleMania with this, stuff.
I think SummerSlam's too soon. I also think that apparently sometime in the last week on SmackDown they were building the first ever showdown between Kevin Owens and Shinsuke Nakamura, and Ring of Honor replied on their YouTube channel by posting the Kevin Steen Shinsuke Nakamura match from 2014, I think it was. I will be dead gummed. I will be dead gummed if New Japan World didn't do the exact same thing. It's like I think it was the day after the pay-per-view, like, oh my God, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, it was like the next day, like, enjoy, have fun with this one, because as long as you're not a Vince guy who can't stand wrestling matches that are more than 12 minutes long, you will love you some AJ and Nakamura. It was amazing, man. It's amazing because I love Shinsuke. That's my main man. But Shinsuke does what he does. But when you put him in there with that architect and that the match builder of all match builders, better than Shawn Michaels, yes he is, because AJ Styles doesn't care if he wins or not. Now, if you tell Michaels he's going to win, he will paint you a masterpiece. But he's got to win.
Yeah.
AJ couldn't care less. Doesn't matter. But, oh boy, those guys, when you put, and it's the same thing, man, like so many of the guys that are running New Japan now, not really Tanahashi. Tanahashi was a monster before Styles got there, but oh God, when you put them together, it was fun. And then Okada, which if you haven't seen Okada, basically everything you've ever heard about Randy Orton, that's Okada. He's exactly what people want Randy Orton to be. He can actually perform. But and then
good stuff,
he's good. Yeah, Okada's really good, but it's strange when you watch him and Tanahashi are very, very good. Him and Kenny Omega just melted the world down. 6 stars is the stupidest thing ever. But the match was great. I mean, the match was absolutely great. It's just so dumb when you do that, because anybody that sees it after the fact is like, no, it wasn't that good. I didn't think it was that good. But I do that to him all the time too, because his Samoa Joe and Kenta Kobashi 5-star. Excuse me, it's great. It's Kobashi and Joe, of course it's great. But I think it was a month before that was the Destiny show where Kobashi and Sasaki went at it. Oh man, Kobashi Sasaki is one of the best matches I've ever seen, and the best chop battle of all time. If you like chop battles, Destiny 2005. I mean, it's an amazing match, and not even the best one on that card. The best one on that card was Kanemaru and Kenta, the guy that is Hideo Itami now. He used to be Kenta, all capital letters, Kenta! That match is absolutely phenomenal. I think that's all over YouTube. I'm pretty sure you can find that one. Destiny 2005, Kanemaru, it's Kanemaru against Kenta, capital letters, Kenta. If you haven't seen it, enjoy it. And if you have seen it, watch it again, because you know I'm right.
I can't spell.
That's amazing, amazing, man. Yeah, with the Japanese names, man, when they get translated into English, I guess just because of the way we do it, so many of them are phonetic. Thank God I can kind of muddle through them. Not all of them, but some of them, man. That match is awesome. I keep saying I'm going to bring that over, and I keep forgetting to do it, but we'll watch that, man. It is real good.
Yeah, man. That's what's up. That's what's been going on. What's been going on.
Atlanta United 1, Colorado Rapids 0. I really wanted to go. As soon as they said, the schedule was coming out, that was the one I circled to go to because I'm a huge Everton fan, therefore I'm a huge Tim Howard fan. But I didn't make it out. But they did run it on the old Fox, and I taped it and I watched it this morning, and they played fantastically well. They deserved more than 1-0, but I don't care. 3 points is all I care about. But man, it is a very stylish and very fun team to watch. It's neat. This is the thing. I may be wrong, but I think 10 years from now we will be discussing the Patriots-like dynasty of Atlanta United because they are fascinatingly interesting and exciting. And Atlanta, we can handle a dynasty down here.
Yeah.
Be all good. And also, they're 7 for 7 on sellouts. Never been done in MLS history, so I'm proud of them.
Cool.
Very proud of them. That's cool, man.
We know we're young, but we're ready.
Yeah.